Whoa, what's up? Welcome to
What's up?
episode 5 Hoop Nutters of the Hoop Nut Villa. Welcome to episode 5. We'll talk about international basketball. We'll talk about NBA basketball. We'll talk about, we're going to have our That's So Canadian segment and our Asian Basketball Minute segment as well. Okay, so let's get down to it, Ross.
Alright.
MVP race pa rin kasi we will always talk about this until it's official already.
Yeah.
Harden,
Season's winding down. Another week.
James Harden or Steph Curry. Kasi wala ako, for me, there are only two legit candidates.
Yes, agree.
LeBron's been doing well, but he's not the MVP. There's Russell Westbrook, not the MVP.
Kulang.
Anthony Davis, hell no.
Kulang.
CP3, ugh, no. James Harden, Steph Curry, who is it gonna be? That rhymes, by the way. So who's it gonna be?
I've been harping on this for the whole year. It's going to be tough to change my pick
Very
now.
tough race, this one.
Should I change it?
Grabe ka lang, para ka man namili ng girlfriend eh. Ano yan? James Harden?
I will
Steph
have
Curry.
to stay with Steph Curry, who's also, kung pwede lang bigay sa kanya human highlight film na pangalan kasi dami niyang highlights eh.
Yeah, baby. Have you seen those crossovers?
Right.
Double behind the back, between the leg, passing.
Galing
dribbles,
eh.
woohoo!
This guy plays beneath,
He's crazy.
below the rim. Pero ang galing talaga eh. Hirap silang i-block ang kanyang layup and rolls. Very tricky. Been consistent the whole year. Best player on the best team. Right now, they have, I think, 63 wins. And pushing for more.
Home court advantage for the entire playoffs.
Yep. Admittedly, hirap sila sa San Antonio Spurs. But whatever. Saka na natin pag-usapin sa playoffs. Right now, we'll have to stay with best shooter in the league.
Best dribbler, best shooter.
One of the best releases, averages about 22 and maybe 9 assists or so. Steph Curry now.
Wow.
Okay.
Best player on the best team, Steph Curry. Good pick, great pick.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely would not mind if he gets MVP.
Absolutely.
I think he perfectly deserves it. But I would pick James Harden.
Yeah.
I mean,
Pwede rin talaga yun eh.
I mean, James Harden and the Rockets have been overachieving the entire season. He's played most of the season without Dwight Howard. And still, they are a top 4 team in the Western Conference. If they were in the East, they might be number 1.
Absolutely, yeah.
So James Harden, for me, doing more with less. He's just carried this team. He has no Klay Thompson. He has no Draymond Green. I mean, he has less talent on this Houston team. You have a bunch of guys stepping up. You have Trevor Ariza fitting in, doing what he does, defense, shooting. You have Josh Smith playing well. You have Debo, Donatas, Montezumas playing well. But, he has less talent on his team. And he's still been able to keep them not above water, but they've been thriving with James Harden as a main man. So,
actually,
for me, it's James Harden.
To his advantage, Harden is also playing more defense. Could you believe that? He's actually trying more.
And again, I think Harden is truer to the spirit of a most valuable player.
So we're looking at the part where if alisin mo sila sa team, kamusta yung team nila?
I mean, that's not to say you take Steph out no walang effect. I mean, they both will have, if you take either of them out of their respective teams, of course they're going to have significant effect. I'm just saying, if you take Harden out, taking him out will have a slightly bigger effect on Houston than, let's say, taking Steph out.
I mean, the Warriors probably survive more kahit wala si Steph compared to the Rockets without Harden.
I mean, again, take Steph out, you change the way Golden State plays, definitely. You take Harden out, you change the way that Houston plays even more.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's what I'm saying.
Again,
so for me, Harden should be MVP. But again, if you pick Curry, if Curry wins it, I wouldn't mind.
Again, they're both deserving. 1A, 1B, 1A, 1AA. Doesn't matter.
1A.
Well, single A, double
More
A.
confusing.
Basta, kahit sino sa kanila, pwede. It just really depends on really how the voter or voters look at perspective of what an MVP means for them. Is it the best player, the best team? Is it the most impact? Or if you take up this guy, how's the effect? Because right now, you could almost throw away really the stats. It's really how they impact their team. Okay,
So MVP race is still up in the air. He picks Steph Curry. I pick James Harden. Who do you pick? You can tweet us.
Yeah, that's exciting. Really one of the closest.
Yeah. What's not up in the air is the Western Conference Rookie of the Month for March, and that turned out to be Filipinos represent Jordan
Clarkson.
Clarkson. Jordan Clarkson playing really well for the Lakers. Post All-Star game stats have been really good. 16 points per game, 5 rebounds, 5 assists. About shooting nearly 50% from the field.
That's rare for a guard. Very
better
rare.
than 32% from 3. Post All-Star game numbers, folks. He's been doing really well for the Lakers. The bright spot in an otherwise dreary Los Angeles Lakers season. So, give me your 2 cents on Jordan Clarkson. What do you think? Is this sustainable for him?
I think the big part that we have to worry for next year is
Kobe's back.
There you go. How can he play with or mesh with Kobe? Number 2, is Jeremy Lin willing to take more of a backseat? Assuming he's still with the Lakers next year, Baka he gets traded or something. I hope they put Jordan Clarkson alongside Kobe as often as possible. Okay? Regardless,
So Jordan
pangalan
Clarkson
niya.
is the starting point guard.
He
Kobe
should be.
is the
He
guard.
should be. He should be. I think he's displayed enough basketball IQ, enough instincts to thrive. At the same time, there's going to be a learning curve for him. Especially si Kobe, ball demand, kailangan hawak palaging bola. This could also help Clarkson play more off the ball if needed. Maybe put more focus on his 3-point shot or during the offseason. Pero I like where he is. He's thriving. Hopefully, pagbalik ni Mr. Brian, kahit na Jordan pangalan niya, and kaaway niya si Jordan.
Grabe ka naman, kaaway. Hindi kaaway.
Rival. Idol that became a rival. He will help Mr. Clarkson become a better player.
All right. I'm really high on Clarkson. Really, really happy for his success. And I agree with you. I hope he continues to play well in the NBA for the Lakers. A lot of Filipino fans of the Lakers, so he's doing really well. What I'm also hoping for is that we find a way, to make him play for Gilas.
There you go. I think that's the bottom line.
I think it's a tougher thing to do because, under FIBA rules, he's classified as a naturalized player if he plays for us. He's not. He's considered an American, not a Filipino. So that's a bummer for us. But because of his connection to the Philippines, his mom is from the Philippines. So I think pwede. I think if the Samahang Basketball in Pilipinas write FIBA, they compose a really good argument for Jordan Clarkson, it's possible for him to play as a local for Gilas Filipinas. I mean, if we want to do that, we can pursue that, and I think we should. Sayang I mean, he's a legit NBA player, legit and Filipino roots. Imagine him with Andrew Blatch, then Junmar Fajardo, then Jason Castro. Oh my God! Tapos may Kobe para sa gumagaling. Off the bench mo, Kiefer, Ray Parks. Oh my God!
Wow, this is a
that's gonna be that's
exciting.
That's an exciting team that could actually make some noise, not just in Asia, but maybe even beyond. So sana that happens. So, another race that's up in the air right now, Roll, is the Defensive Player of the Year.
Come on.
If I were to pick a DPOY, if I had a vote, it would be another Jordan. Jordan Crawford. No, just joking. Jordan Crawford. He's not in the league anymore. DeAndre Jordan. DeAndre Jordan of the LA Clippers. About 15 rebounds a game. About 3 blocks a game, I think.
2 blocks lang.
2 to 3 blocks a game. Just doing really, really well. Doc Rivers earlier in the season said that he should be DPOY.
Yeah.
And at this point in the season, I would agree with Doc Rivers. He makes the Clippers a very, very dangerous defensive team. He protects the rim like crazy.
Yeah.
Gets a ton of defensive rebounds. Who knows how many shots he alters in a game. He's, in a way, for me, is like the new Dikembe Mutombo. If Dikembe Mutombo could jump as high as he does.
Yeah, could do those alley-oops, no?
Yeah, he just murders people with those dunks and swats.
Highlight
shots
to see DJ,
crazy. DJ for me, DPOY for the Clippers.
As for me naman, admittedly DJ, very good pick. Might probably win it. For me, I would put a little bit more stock into one of the, I think, top 3 players in the league. Anthony Davis.
Wow.
Okay?
Despite missing all those games.
He missed a few games, but that shows you his impact not only offensively but defensively.
But his PER is through the roof.
So Anthony Davis, 10 boards, number 1 in blocks, closer to 3 blocks. That means he probably alters more shots than DJ. And I think one advantage of Anthony Davis over DeAndre is Davis can cover more perimeter work.
Yeah.
As in, he's faster. I wouldn't say more athletic. Parang hindi.
I would say more athletic.
Maaari, because he has more skill.
For sure, he can
I
guard
think one
more
of the
people.
things that sways me is he averages maybe a steal and a half, 1.5 steals per game. So maganda yun kasi it's harder for you to throw entry passes the way that Davis can cover the perimeter and the low post. Now, I think also New Orleans is better defensively. Right now, they even have a chance to make the playoffs, and this is not just because Davis scores, but because he can also defend.
Yan ang argument ko against Anthony Davis naman. Parang you have DJ and his defensive presence for LA helps them help them get into the playoffs. Itong New Orleans, if they don't make the playoffs, do you still pick someone from that team as your DPOY?
Yun ang hindi siguro.
I'm not sure about that.
At the same time, rin, the missed games, of course, hurt. So, probably Jordan will win. Pero kung may vote ako, I'd pick Anthony Davis.
Ang dami rin pwede pang,
Andiyan pa rin si Gasol, Mark.
May Mark Gasol. May
siya,
Draymond
Green. Pwede. Very good, versatile defender.
Some Chicago fans might even say Joakim Noah. That probably won't happen. But
not this year.
But for me, it's DJ. For you, it's Anthony Davis. Ganito. If New Orleans makes the playoffs, I think Davis
consider it. Legit.
If we don't make the playoffs,
you have to give it to somebody who's
and I think DJ
bigger impact
is the best choice for that. Which brings us now to our next topic. Yung segment ni Rolly, that's so Canadian.
Okay.
And he's gonna talk about one guy who might be a DPOY candidate in the future. Because he's... hindi pala.
Pwede.
Pwede.
Pero
ang pinanis na kasi dito, yung isang player na known for his defense.
This guy, so... Talking about a very good Canadian in the NBA right now. We're talking about, of course, number 1 pick, probably Rookie of the Year.
Anthony Bennett? Hindi pa rin.
Hindi rin. At saka siya pa rin Rookie of the Year, no? Second year na yan. Si Wiggins. Okay, Mr. Wiggins had this turnaround move that ended in a nasty dunk over the person they called, the Frenchman they called, the Stifle Tower.
Nicolas Batum.
So, ang ganda ng dunk niya. He dunked over
Rudy Gobert.
So, not as nice as the way a semi-Canadian Vince Carter dunked over another Frenchman and Sydney Olympics yata yun? When he dunked on Frederick Weiss. Pero ang ganda rin ito eh. So, it just, at least to me, shows us again
wicked hops,
the super uber athleticism.
Ano bang kaya na sa Canada? Puro Canadian bacon? Puro maple
leaf?
Maple leaf yata.
Hindi. Sa syrup, pwede. Sarap yun.
Maple syrup with Canadian bacon.
Sarap nun.
Yan.
So there. So again,
Andrew Wiggins.
Just YouTube him, look at
the
highlights.
Could be DPOY in the future.
Yeah.
Could be MVP.
This guy has enough talent.
Super upside.
If he... Para siyang LeBron. Pwede. I mean, defensively, he can defend probably all positions. Malaki siya, 6'8", mahaba, can jump.
Shooting guard,
Medyo payat nga lang, pero he can develop that. And now, of course, si Stifle Tower, very good at blocks, good defensive presence. Medyo mabigat pa yung pa, slow. Pero he's doing well. I mean, they traded Enes Kanter para makalaro to. More minutes, diba? So there you go.
And Enes Kanter, he's no
slouch.
He's doing well.
He's doing well in OKC
right now.
So there you go.
All right. So congratulations, Andrew Wiggins, on having a great rookie season. Super impact player, maybe future MVP DPOY.
Yeah.
Right there. You are so Canadian.
Kaya yun.
All right. Now it's my turn for my Asian basketball minute. And as I said earlier, I'm a big Asian basketball fan. That's why I have this. And I'm going to talk about, last time I talked about the Chinese Basketball Association playoffs, Beijing Ducks winning that title. This time, we're going to go to South Korea. The Korean Basketball League's 2014 to 2015 season just ended, Rolls, with a championship sweep from the Ulsan Mobis Phoebus team. Ulsan Mobis Phoebus, sister team to ng Kia. Actually. So, yung Kia Carnival natin sa PBA, sister team nila,
Buti
sa
pa to,
Korea,
no?
champion. At hindi lang three-peat champion na to. So, 2013, 2014, 2015 KBL champions itong Ulsan Mobis team. They have a very, very good team. They have two imports, si Ira Clark, tsaka si Ricardo Ratliff, I think. Very, very good imports. And they have a lot of players who are members of their national pool. Kanilang number one point guard, ang Johnny Abarientos ng Korea, si Yang Donggun. Yan. Makikita natin yan sa FIBA Asia. Panoorin mo ang game nito sa YouTube. Great mid-range game, great passer, very fast, very shifty. Reminds me a lot of Johnny A in his prime. They have a lot of good players. At isang kailangan timbrehan sa team na to, tinatawag nilang si Moon Tae-young. Si Moon Tae-young, Korean-American. Ang totoong pangalan niya is Greg Stevenson.
Yep.
Ang Korean name niya, Moon Tae-young, is extremely good. He's never played for the Korean national team. But based on my sources, he will be their naturalized player this year.
Ano ulit ang height niya?
He's about 6'8", 6'7", but he plays small forward.
Small forward.
He plays a lot like Kelly Williams.
Okay.
If Kelly Williams had a consistent three-point shot.
Grabe.
So imagine
Kelly
Williams in his MVP year, add a three-point shot, and that's Moon Tae-young. He's gonna be a big problem for us.
Akala ko 6'6" lang siya, mas malaki pa pala.
About 6'7", yeah. 6'8". He's gonna be a big problem for us in FIBA Asia this year. I'm not sure we have someone who can guard him one-on-one. He's gonna be a really, really, really tough assignment.
Japit sana if pinapalaro
No, papanisin mo si Japit. Hindi talaga, mahirap. So that's my Asian Basketball Minute, talking about the big championship in the KBL. And that brings to a close episode number 5 of the Hoop Nut video log. Thank you very much for watching us, listening to us. We're also available on iTunes kasi yung audio version ito, ginagawa namin podcast, which you can download on iTunes.
Alright, guys.
So who's your DPOY? Who's your MVP pick? Harden or Curry? What do you think of Jordan Clarkson? Tweet us. Our Twitter handles are right there at the bottom. You can also follow us on Facebook and Instagram. And there you go. Thank you very much.
Thanks, guys. Catch you next week or next time.
Next week, we're probably going to have our picks for end of season awards. Yeah, in the next week. Thank you very much.
All right.
And